It's
Yeah.
not like the death was that.
Are we live again?
We are live again. Welcome back, folks. Yes, we are good. We good. Welcome back, everybody. I'll give you the quick rundown. That was a pretty anticlimactic end to that point. Prodigy Noobs did take it. There was not much of a final fight, honestly. Mexi got play of the game. He picked up a nice clean 4K. We did not see the EMP shatter. Nice clean 4K play of the game from Mexi. Hit the shatter on second point, and then cleaned it up. Pretty much as simple as that. And it was actually, it's a shame because your Evdy was really getting into that motor mouth mode.
Sad.
But how are you? Is everybody good this evening?
So we have, we're gonna go ahead and get the swap sides going here. We have lineups for both sides. I just gotta get the lobby going. We fixed the stream, now we fixed the lobby.
Yep. What wish list for Overwatch 2? Sorry, reading chat again. Preference for Overwatch 2: flip the auto flip sides and all spectators.
Yes.
It would be real nice.
Please, Jeff.
Muffin, I'm not gonna tell you I stopped watching, but like we're having a moment of are we up, are we down, are we up, are we down, and I lost a little bit of focus.
I was catching a little bit of it because I wasn't 100% sure we were down. Essentially, to try and fill in the gaps, what I was seeing before I realized stream went down was Valhalla went in for their last fight, but Prodigy Noobs essentially just kind of dumped at Valhalla, and they really couldn't do anything about it. Zoomsbury had a really good grab that went out and paired with Eli's Deadeye, pretty much shut down more than half of Valhalla, and at that point Prodigy Noobs sort of entered cleanup mode.
Yep, the last thing I saw was...
I did not get to see exactly like details of the cleanup happening.
Yeah, the last thing I caught was like the very last second of cleanup, and it was just Mexi free swinging. And I don't even know if I don't know if it was the point of cleanup where he was free swinging or the we've already won and thus I ain't just sitting here holding my shield free swinging.
Yeah.
So
So we have the swaps for Prodigy through. Let me get the swaps for Valhalla through.
Howdy, other Overwatch Oasis stream.
NYC will be coming in for Rav here. And then the support line for Valhalla will be Moosh and B.
Main account is usually Jibba boss.
Yes.
It's just weird that they don't have the full power because this isn't their stream.
Our stream now.
Yes.
Wahahaha.
Yoink.
I do believe we've got the lineups in, so we shall await readies from both sides. Prodigy Noobs, I believe 2-0 right now, so Valhalla looking to get the reverse sweep going.
Good night, Strife. Have a good evening, sir, and a good day at work tomorrow. But yes, the reverse sweep lineup. I mean, you said your Preds actually had Valhalla winning this, did they not?
Initially going into this, I did think Valhalla might have like a small edge over Prodigy Noobs, given map pool and all that. But Prodigy Noobs have really stepped up this match.
Yeah, this is dare I say this is a bit of a vintage Prodigy Noobs performance?
Yes.
I don't think it would be untoward to suggest that they had a performance dip there in the later middle of the season. But this looks like old spooky Prodigy Noobs.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like we were looking at our early season power rankings. This looks like back when we had power Prodigy Noobs kinda with like us and whatnot in the very tippity top. Us,
yeah.
White Walkers,
Mm-hmm.
Big ups. So spoopy noobs, yes, they're spoopy noobs. We got to be getting close to ready timer. No?
Let me see. Yes.
Oh, so we had to leave the White Walker stream. Apparently that ended up 3-1, Uravity.
Ah, nice to know Diving Phoenix were able to take a map.
Indeed, indeed.
Have to go back up. We got readies from both sides. But currently Valhalla find themselves in a situation not completely different from the one Diving Phoenix found themselves in just about an hour ago. Going into Temple of Anubis down 2. Trying to find a way to turn the series around.
Ready for battle.
Okay. Good old-fashioned draw Anubis.
Yep.
Unfortunately, a draw doesn't get you anything here if you're, well, I suppose on the
Valhalla
contrary.
doesn't get you anything. If it's Prodigy Noobs, it gets you a series win. And therefore the third seed.
So we see Rav main tank. I'm gonna make a bold call. Are we looking at captain's privilege pick?
I doubt it. I don't think they're gonna. I think they make a bit like a crazy play like that at the match point.
Perhaps. It does seem unlikely. It's not
the teleporter coming out
Rav
from
main tank
Prodigy
question.
Noobs here. I'm trying to figure out where that was going.
I think they faked it. I think that was the fake telly. Prodigy Noobs are just in the downtown right now.
PN seemed a little undecided. Cable lagging behind the rest of PN quite a bit. And PowerPoint able to get a really early pick on the Stell. We see the Junkrats meet each other. Takeover and Cable up here on this high ground. Ares gets trapped by Takeover. And Takeover's actually going to find that pick on their way down. Gotta love being a projectile here. You can just throw something and jump down, still get the kill later on.
Sounds
Cable's
like
up here with Rav, just throwing some damage into them. Takeover's still up here on this high ground, able to finish off this Junkrat in their back line. It'll be a reset for Prodigy Noobs. A good start to this map for not Prodigy Noobs, Valhalla.
We're seeing a bit of a divey swap kind of a look, which, given the PowerPoint playing deep on the Widow, I think makes a lot of sense. That Echo and the Winston both coming out to apply some more distance pressure.
Playing in this cubby against the Junkrat is painful. We see Mexi getting the leap through on the PowerPoint. A nice shutdown from Cable onto that tire from the Takeover, and Tiny Shiny able to follow up with the kill on Takeover. Mexi now applying pressure to Brow Daddy, forcing out the Immortality field early. Now the window from Stelbell, and all of Valhalla are in firing range of it. Now the amplification matrix from Valhalla is going to come out. PowerPoint in this backline here kind of being ignored. May end up doing a lot of damage if they don't take care of that really soon. Sleep Shake going to head up there now to put some pressure on them. But Sleep Shake falls down to 1 HP here, and now NYC Takeover's back. Valhalla might be able to stall this for a little bit if something's not done soon. Might actually be able to contest this fully. But it looks like the DPS are, well, I say DPS, but a little bit of everybody picking up the slack now, getting the final blows on the remnants of Valhalla. Will take point A.
That was a pretty textbook play dive to counter brawl comp on Anubis A. Like, it was very, like, it took a little bit longer, but the setup and the engage was darn near as perfect as they come. Like, oh, the bomb comes through.
It'll actually find Moosh, who was just outside of the Immortality field. Ravioli staying with a nice pin though, able to find the pick on the Ares, but the picks are just going heavily in favor of Prodigy Noobs with this, I would call near ult dump here. The Valkyrie coming out here from Valhalla. Moosh able to contest the point and be very, very hard to hit. PowerPoint gonna fall though. Prodigy Noobs doing their best to take care of both these entry points. A nice res from Moosh onto B-Ant. And to bring a lot of the sustain back into this fight. Ares gonna duplicate the Reinhardt. That will make up for their loss of a main tank in this fight. They're going to keep Brow Daddy on the ground, CC'd as long as they can, but they're still not able to find the pick. Sleep Shake with another bomb. PowerPoint on the Reaper, though, able to use the Wraith form to get out of it. And Valhalla actually going to hold this here.
Valhalla with a huge clutch up there. I'm not entirely certain what went wrong for Prodigy Noobs.
I as well kind of missed the great turning point of that fight until it was kind of over.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just collapsed. I don't even think it was the turning point was almost it, and now it's over.
Ares is on Sombra now, gets the hack on the Brow Daddy. This is going to be the end of Brow Daddy.
They have to be careful aggressing into Rav here, who has the Shatter though.
NYC Takeover gets taken out now. This is where Prodigy Noobs really need to get aggressive, and they're going to. They're actually going to invest the Immortality field on Mexi to allow them to get aggressive, but Mexi gets knocked off the bridge, and these mines are going to cut off the aggression. Ares unable to get caught up to their team, now getting hit by two flankers, but there's also a fight on point. Mexi going to throw the Shatter out, finds three, not able to get the kill on the Moosh with a great Coalescence coming out from BA here, keeping their team healthy. Cable gonna throw out this Riptire, not able to find anything in the DPS on Valhalla, doing so much work in this little corridor in the back here. Reaper and Junkrat are not something you want to be caught in CQC with, and they're gonna take full advantage of that. Wipe out Prodigy Noobs, buy themselves even more time on playing B.
Indeed, that was a very clean defense, not giving up any additional space, and really neutralizing pretty much every threat.
Brow Daddy with a really aggressive angle, able to get a really early pick on Stelbell, buying them even more time.
Okay, so ult economy wise, I mean, it looks like it's probably pretty strong for Prodigy Noobs. The only hope we have, I think, is we're gonna look at this this EMP that's likely to come out soon.
Ares with a nice hack on the Brow Daddy, but a huge Shatter coming out of the tank line. NYC gonna send this Riptire in, but Mexi snipes it out of the sky!
Mexi, please. That is
PowerPoint
disgusting.
with the Step Blossom hops up above the team, but not quite able to find any picks. Doesn't actually decide to use it. EMP bomb coming out here. Is it going to be anything? It finds B. That might be what they need. The sustain is now gone. PowerPoint though popping this Death Blossom, able to get Stelbell, and NYC Takeover takes out the Baptiste. So now Prodigy and Noobs really hurting for sustain. And not only them sent home packing yet again. What was once, I believe, 4.5 minutes for them has now dwindled to 20 seconds.
Indeed. And you're now looking at almost a pretty pure neutral fight here. We're going to see probably Tyre and Whole Hog. And Brow on the deep flank right now, but scouted out by Ares.
Ares finds the early pick on the Brow Daddy again, but they're going to lose Mexi to here. Unfortunately, gets baited by the Wraith of Moira. Spawn advantage will eventually favor Valhalla here. They need Prodigy Noobs. If they want to take something, they need to start getting picks to go their way, but I think the damage is already done here. Valhalla have managed to find pretty much the majority of Prodigy Noobs. They've kicked Sleep Shake off the point with this Whole Hog. Mexi's back on this ball, but both tanks get wiped out at the exact same time, not allowing them to stall any longer. Valhalla will hold on B. This is what they really need if they wanted to keep their series hope still alive here.
So, I have a theory I just came up with. Are we about to see the 85% ball win rate ball player? Is that what the Rav swap is all about? Notably, I think Rav held their own very well there.
Yes, definitely.
Mexi is not a tank that it's easy to go toe-to-toe with. And perhaps even more notably, Rav was doing it without what I'll call a supportive off-tank.
With the Roadhog there.
Yeah, we were looking at like a ball and a Roadhog. You're not getting like the pocket action coming out like you might with a Diva or... I mean, a Diva, an Orisa, a Zarya, obviously. Like any of the...
Pretty much anything that
Sigma...
wasn't the two tanks they ended up getting as their off-tank.
But we do see Rev loading up the Reinhardt. Pretty traditional. But wait, are we? Surely they're... Okay, I was going to say, they're not going to run Lucio Zenyatta. Lucio Zenyatta Brawl. But Lucio Moira I buy into all day. And the defensive sim again with a very aggressive position. Okay, that teleports moves back to point. Well, it's still pretty aggressive.
It definitely seems as though when you see Ares come in, they're definitely going to play like the utility heroes.
Yeah, utility heroes, beam heroes.
Plenty of Mei, plenty of Sim, plenty of Sombra.
Yep.
PowerPoint on this Widow again, trying to take the high ground duel with Cable, gonna find the pick. Stelbell though, gonna get the res, and Sleep Shake goes up to harass PowerPoint. However, Takeover takes down Shiny. It looks like Prodigy Noobs are getting ready to gear themselves up for a fight on point. They've relocated the turrets to the second spawn door. PowerPoint being left unchecked in the choke under the bridge, able to find Ares. A lot of damage now gone for Prodigy Noobs. Stelbell trying to fly in here to keep Mexi topped off, but Brow Daddy finds them, pushes them into this little mini room. Stel, the only thing touching right now, gets taken down by NYC Takeover. All that's left here is Sleep Shake out of Mecha and Cable on the point. Cable's not actually going to be able to get a touch here. I believe that'll be Prodigy Noobs giving up point A and opting to just try and get the hold on B.
Indeed. Looking pretty spiffy there. The Cable Widow, or not the Cable Widow, the PowerPoint Widow, completely uncontested out there, is just...
PowerPoint.
There, that's what it is. That's literally what it is.
A huge shatter coming out from Mexi though, actually going to put Prodigy Noobs, but PowerPoint finds another pick on the Cable! And now B getting a pick on this Shiny with this Coalescence and also keeping their team healed up amazingly. These turrets doing a lot of work, but get taken down now. Now no shield in play. PowerPoint able to do whatever they want up there on that pillar. We've seen this earlier tonight. What a Widowmaker can do up here on this pillar if left unchecked. Mexi on the ball, gonna try and stall. Can they get the same stall magic that Valhalla were able to get? Not very much time left though. A nice shatter to prevent the res from going through, and Valhalla will get their 60% and take map 3, keeping themselves in the series.
The reverse sweep is live, chat.
It is indeed.
Yes, PowerPoint has non-existent. I'm liking, I believe it's Rad Solo Shredders. Oh no, this is the defense. Nice. Not the
Rad did
flashiest
very,
play of the
very
game
well
I've
that
ever
match.
seen. Yes, I agree. Big agree. Interesting. Muffin, you could make an argument there. Hit scan diff, indeed, potentially. Like, that was a very dominant, a very dominant showing.
Mm-hmm.
Two. PowerPoint.
Now we head to Gibraltar, a map I mentioned earlier in the stream while we were on Blizzard World.
I'm just not on board with this Torb required, Muffin. Interesting. I'm just not. I'm not with the. I'm not with it. But I mean, I think Torb is an option, but I don't think not playing Torb on Anubis is throwing. I think there are other characters which are just as OP on Anubis if you can play them effectively. Widow,
Yeah.
Junkrat, both of which can kind of farm a Torb turret at that point. I'm borderline with you, Kitty. I think not playing Junk on Anubis is like... You best have a darn good reason. A darn good reason to not play Junkrat on Anubis. I feel like Torb Junk is only you only want to play that is if you don't have a goated hit scan player. Because like
Maybe, yeah.
especially like an Ashe or a Widow, either one, I would rather play over a Torb.
Cable's a really, really good Ashe player. I complimented their hit scan a lot towards the beginning of the season when I saw them a lot. It's just unfortunate because when you take an Ashe duel with a Widowmaker, you have to nail at least 2 shots, and PowerPoint is the type of Widowmaker who will nail the headshot on their first try.
I'm with you 100%.
Especially with the nerfs that Ashe has gotten as of lately, killing her damage and her ability to one-tap even with a Mercy Pocket.
Yep, I agree.
So even with, I believe it was Stelbell pocketing them up there, PowerPoint was able to just one-tap them and immediately take them out of the fight rather consistently, just because Widowmaker versus Ashe, like when you take that duel in a one-on-one, Widowmaker is just like the better hero in that duel for 1v1 specifically.
Oh, I agree. That's always been the... It's not about... Like, if you were getting farmed by an Ashe, you can 100% swap Widow to, distance them. The problem is, in a lot of the compositions, especially when we are seeing a ton of Ashe, is you win that duel, and then you as a Widow no longer... Your mid-fight pressure is so much less. Like, I would argue we didn't even see that many Ashe duels, even at like the height of Ashe's bustedness.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of I compare Dynamite to Junkrat because it's spammy, but it's like the AoE like ticking damage puts a ton of healing pressure on anybody who's not running AoE heals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it's a really interesting interaction. Double projectile is bad unless one of you can confidently play fire. No contest with that. Double projectile is bad unless one of you can confidently play Pharah. I mean, Echo Hanzo could be a thing. At tier 3, Echo at tier 3 Junkrat plus everything, like anything, like it's fine. I mean, really, it's just how it be, and I don't think it's always that it's the right answer. I think that it's always a valid answer.
A swap from Valhalla. They only want one. They're bringing Hunter in for Moosh on the support line.
Well, okay. Getting a little wild with it. Okay. I'll be interested as to if they probably won't offer reasoning, but I would be curious to hear it.
And swaps are through for Prodigy Noobs.
Cloud out. And Eli in? Is that all?
Zooms
We're
in,
going to Gibraltar.
Eli in, Cloud in.
I'm a little surprised we see Ares here.
Mexi
I don't usually...
said Ares messed something up to hold on. So maybe not the swaps from Prodigy Noobs yet.
Well, I say my thought is where I'm going with this is I don't think of Watchpoint Gibraltar as a map that really favors Ares' best DPS picks.
I know some
Sombra,
teams really
I mean,
are
can.
down to do some Symmetra shenanigans on A, and normally
I mean,
it's a gamble, because if it works, it's a full hold, but if it doesn't, B and C now suck, because Symmetra is so fun there.
I mean, that's true. I feel like the Yaldi car wash, which is what I assume you're talking about.
Yep.
I feel like that strategy is better executed with a Mei now than it is. Well, I guess Ares also plays Mei, so that's fine.
And Mei's just in general not a bad pick. She struggles a little bit on this map. But point A and point B specifically, well, I guess even point C, because that's generally a more like brawly type of objective where her walls can
point
get more
C,
value.
I love Mei. I think it's good.
So she's not a bad pick here, just in general, if you want her.
The problem that I don't think is actually a problem, I think it's a good thing, is
Tiny
that
is coming in for Stell. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, there we go. The second point of Gibraltar really swaps up what you want to do if you don't steamroll it. Like, recontesting point B Gibraltar with the doors closed and, a dive team set up on the garage, not the garage, the shuttle, like on the roof or whatever, is just painful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the score is 2-1 now, in favor of Prodigy Noobs.
I'm gonna assume they're trying to get Tiny in game chat right now.
You think they told they weren't in and walked away?
So I wonder what kind of comps we'll see here. We saw Valhalla try. Well, actually, I think we saw Prodigy Noobs as well try some double bubble earlier in the series, which could potentially work here as well.
I say a double bubble with a Sombra, kind of spicy, would give you double bubble Sombra Ash maybe, from Prodigy Noobs. Looking at that lineup, again, I don't know what Rav's main tank hero pool is because we now know Reinhardt, we know Ball.
Yep.
We assume Ball, if you will. Maybe they play a Ball comp here.
Ready's on both sides.
Let's go. Now you can stop listening to us fill time as we get more and more tired. Because I'm getting worse and worse at it. I can tell. My voice is maybe dying a little bit, actually. I'm not sure.
Well, that's so fun.
Okay, why did you spawn me on third point game? That's rude.
Yeah, that's the spectator life of Gibraltar.
PowerPoint, unshocked face on the Widow.
Yeah. I do believe the Stardust Crusaders game against Valhalla featured some PowerPoints on Widow on Gibraltar. Because I specifically remember our Widow specialist, Wakocha, being very upset that she didn't get to play Gibraltar and play against PowerPoint.
Well, you know, we do see the 85%er. Let's go. The prodigious Ball Lord herself.
Attackers incoming.
I like this comp from Prodigy Noobs, just in the sense of it's sort of like a bunkery type of rush. Like they're more or less expecting a dive to come at them with the Brigitte.
I think they're trading off mobility with the Lucio, and they're gonna use this like high ground. It's like a speed onto kind of an opportunity.
Right. That's a nice hack on the Ravioli Stain. It will prevent follow-up. However, good follow-up from Valhalla to let Ravioli Stain get out. Zoomsbury doing a nice job shutting down PowerPoint. Too much value in this Widowmaker. Unfortunately, it did cost them their mech initially.
And the counter punch is coming in quickly. Yes. Oh, Brow.
The cart finally pushed into a place where Prodigy Noobs' composition would have an advantage over Valhalla's. They're gonna have a really hard time pushing the cart through this this cave area if Prodigy Noobs decide to fight in it.
Indeed, and we do see PowerPoint swapping off versus the Sombra. I think that's a wise choice. We're actually now mirroring DPS comps. And with the ult economy the way it is, I guess it's alright. I don't think it would be untoward of B-Ant to swap after this ultimate. Probably to a Baptiste look, maybe? Or Brig themselves, possibly.
I think
right now, Staggers.
Zoomsbury's ability to control high ground and just play general assistant to the entirety of the team. They've been juggling a lot this series.
I agree. They have looked quite good. PowerPoint just, I think, 3-tapping with the damage boost Ares.
Amplification Matrix here. Mexi gonna throw Fire Strike. Good eat from Brow Daddy, not to let it get anything, but a huge shatter coming out from Mexi, knocking down 4 members of Valhalla. But the nano on the Ravioli Stain is going to make it impossible for Mexi to really follow up at all. And a nice pin takes Mexi really low. Eli able to get the pick with the Deadeye from above. Valkyrie getting invested here. But Prodigy Noobs have done enough damage. PowerPoint falling dangerously low. Going to get picked off by Tiny Shiny before they can get out. It'll be Prodigy Noobs winning the hairy fight that really almost went sideways for them.
See, as good as that looked, that's actually a remarkably low amount of cart progress. They pushed them out of car wash and into, you know, the bend, almost. I mean, slightly positionally advantaged now, but in terms of, you know, progress, almost none. And we see Ares with the EMP coming up here.
Bomb coming out. No picks. It actually didn't even find the immortality field. But Eli gets caught out of position over here, and now the Deadeye with the damage boost gonna find Tiny Shiny. So much healing gone. Zoomsberry not quite able to get up there and eat it in time. And now a res on the NYC takeover. All the damage back for Valhalla, and just the tank's alive for Prodigy Noobs. That's gonna be Valhalla getting a pretty clean A take on their last fight here. And Tiny Shiny gets bad spawned, unfortunately. Cloud Lemon did too, but I don't think Cloud Lemon will get active. Eli, though, with a really late DMech on the Brow Daddy, that will allow them to stabilize.
I'm a little surprised at Brow trying to survive here. But 67, 69, nice. % back to ult. Yeah, fine, I guess. They're still making progress.
Bomb being sent out by Zoomsberry, and the EMP is going to come out as well. It's huge! It finds 4!
That was a flawless EMP bomb. Like, absolutely mwah.
Yeah.
Exceptional. The fact that Cloud had to beat there... Oh wait, no, Cloud swapped. Never mind. I was gonna say it was probably a little bit much, but you're looking at quite the thick ult economy coming out of Valhalla here, with 4, 5 coming up. Eli finding an early pick though.
Nice shatter from Mexi to counter aggress this Nano, and he blocks the shatter to follow it up, but Ravioli's saying gonna throw a fire strike through the shield. Can't stop that. Brow Daddy gets over aggressive here though, gets demeched and taken down. Ravioli staying now without their off tank. However, Zoomsberry without their main tank gets demeched here because of the Deadeye. Riptire coming out from NYC. Can Mexi block it? Not quite. NYC doing a lot of work on these tanks here. Junkrat just being the general tank buster he is. Eli and Cloud gets stuck over here, not able to actually touch, unfortunately. Valhalla did a great job locking Prodigy Noobs in that little corner there with the cargo boxes.
That was a pretty solid... It was a pretty slow attack, but it never really gave up.
Yeah.
They just kept taking a little bit more, finding one more pick. And it's going to set them up well for this last fight, where they're going to have... They don't have anything online yet. Well, they don't have anything super huge online yet. But they're going to be well positioned.
Nano on to Rav again. A nice counter pin though. But the shatter coming out from Rav, gonna just lay down the rest of Prodigy Noobs. And PowerPoint now pops Deadeye to look fancy as the cart gets turned in here. And after what was a relatively sketchy A, got converted into some clean B and really clean C.
Yeah, that really was a continuation of my compliment, complaint, you know, depending on which way you go. They just kept taking a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and never letting off the gas. Even if they were, you know, maybe they let off the gas, but they never took it out of drive. You know, they were idling along, just creeping a little bit. And you finish Gibraltar with time in the clock, makes me a happy man. Got no complaints there at all.
Right. Gibraltar is a hard map to complete, just in general.
It's one of those maps where it's funny. It's, I would argue, very common to take Gibraltar. Well, Gibraltar is a weird map because I feel like it's there's a couple of like hard spots, if you will, and then the rest of it you just sort of cruise through. If you can break point C, I feel like most teams will all but capture C. You know, you'll end up parked
if you can
on
get
the
around
landing
that
pad.
bend, yeah.
Yes. Like if you can just, but you might not finish it, but you will get it, you know, to
5, 4,
the basically the end. So
1.
it's actually a pretty significant difference, I would argue, having 90 seconds on the clock.
Stop the melee.
PowerPoint gonna immediately be dove on here. Trade's already happening. Trade quality actually favoring, well actually it's hard to say because of spawn advantage.
Yeah, with
Losing Cloud there hurts in the short term, but Cloud will be back very fast. Meanwhile,
Cloud
PowerPoint's gone
swapping
for it.
as well. The Cloud leading off on Zenyatta there suggests to me that they were planning some very spicy comp. Or perhaps a counter.
Daddy Shiny getting aggressed on really heavily by Daddy. A nice sleep waiting out the GM from Daddy, and great peel from Prodigy Noobs to keep them alive. However, Prodigy Noobs is now in the same danger that their opponents were just a couple of minutes ago, where they're playing a very true dive comp, and they now gotta push the cart in. Well, I say this, but Valhalla actually just kind of give the cave up.
Yeah, this is a little more traditional of where I expect to see the cart stop, with the underfold being not so popular anymore. And just seeing the positioning set up Prodigy is here, and they are
He leapt in and gets the nano, takes out the immortality field. Daddy gonna throw in a counter aggression bomb, almost finds Cloud, but not quite. Prodigy Noobs executing this dive quite well. A nice trap on the Zoomsberry. Gonna use the bomb just to get their mecha back. A nice stick there. It'll do a lot of damage to the mecha of Daddy. Daddy's actually in a lot of trouble. Daddy's about to have a bad day.
Oh. Sleepy, sleepy. Gonna take a nap.
I can only laugh at that because Eli directly punched Daddy to wake them up. So the irony that they get punched by the baby diva is great.
No, I think that was a fair end to that tale. We are going to see likely an EMP come out, but a Mexi dead will probably stall that.
Sleepy Rab able to contest the cart for a while UPS do things.
At this point, yeah, as I say, Prodigy need to get out and sort of regroup or reposition.
Ares is just going to stay stealth in the back line of Valhalla and wait until they can safely do an EMP bomb, I guess. Well, they're a ways off of bomb, so if Ares is planning to EMP here, they're probably not comboing it with an ult.
I don't think you have to.
No.
We'll see. We'll see.
PowerPoint's just hanging out up here on this upper right high ground, waiting for their opportunity to deadeye. Once you take over with a nice pick onto Eli is gonna stop that flank from getting sniffed out, but I'm not quite sure the flank needs to happen. Gonna use it anyway. Gets the pick onto the baby diva. Mexi gonna invest the primal rage here.
I'm predicting this is a swap primal. Yeah, it's a swap primal.
Looks like it.
And we're going back to a Ryan Zarya brawl. Something we actually haven't seen very much of tonight.
I recall having seen it once, but I don't remember how long it got played for.
Beacon in place.
Or maybe I'm just thinking of one of the times the double bubble came out.
Yeah, I think it was every time we saw Zarya, it was actually double bubble.
Need to shut down the amplification matrix. Finds 4 with the EMP, but they're all up on the high ground. Bomb coming out from behind. Daddy able to find Eli off guard with that too. Now the rip tire from NYC. Is it gonna find anything? It gets Tiny Shiny. Mexi now, it's just Mexi and Ares left. Ares gets taken down in the shatter from Ravioli Stain, not gonna let Mexi find their way out. However, a good A take still gives Prodigy Noobs 2 minutes to to get this sorted out.
Now we're seeing a Maycree comp come out. So the problem they're having here, and why I wouldn't actually mind seeing the Diva, is the amount of spam damage that NYC Takeover is putting out here is, dare I say, prodigious.
Nice freeze on the Brow Daddy. They're just not going to let this Diva out.
Brow Daddy's been very aggressive.
PowerPoint. Wow.
PowerPoint to flank High Noon Matt. Actually, no, you're the flank High Noon master. But PowerPoint's really looking to make his name for the same.
PowerPoint's been killing it with the flank that eyes this map. I'm actually kind of surprised Prodigy Noobs let him do the same thing twice. As he goes up to the same exact spot he's been sitting in this entire time.
Well, they really don't seem to be interested in taking this high ground control.
Shatter coming out from Mexi, lays down 2 members of Valhalla, but Mexi's down here on the slow ground all by themselves, and as you'd expect, gets taken down relatively quickly. The wall cut Hunter off from their own immortality there for a moment. Looks like in the last moments of this fight, Prodigy Noobs are going to find some real footing here and put themselves in contention to turn this card in all the way. Mexi swapping to the ball as a stall pick. Brow Daddy's still here. They've got bomb. Mexi trying to get a pick on the power point here. Has him dangerously low, but not able to finish off the pick. But
oh no. Oh no, that might be the actual letter number? I'm thinking that was the real Dealio. Because I would argue they won that with the 2 picks from Deadeye.
Deadeye, yeah.
A very clean bomb from Doomsbury. Well done, well done. And a nice setup EMP. Kirby making a point, forced C9 with the Diva Bomb, but I think you can hide behind the cart there relatively safely.
The back of the cart, unless the Diva Bomb was like set up on the corner of the back of the cart, the Gibraltar payload is set up similarly to the Route 66 payload, where you can, like, any bomb that's sat on top of it, you can hide from if you're on the back of it. Well, as long as you're not like Reinhardt size, at least.
Oh, do.
Well, remember when I said this one was gonna go the distance?
Until tomorrow, I believe you said at the beginning of the stream, and we are almost there.
We're going. We're getting a little closer to that prediction than I really would have liked. Yes, 2-2 currently, Mr. Beck. Oh. And our final map of the evening, what will it be, sir?
Do you believe it is Oasis?
Appropriate for the stream, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. I just had a thought. Is our schedule set to open the season on Oasis and end on Oasis?
It is, I agree.
I cannot believe I did not connect those dots sooner than the end of the season.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Well, Valhalla done a great job bringing this series back so far, taking themselves to map 5 and putting themselves in a really good spot to reverse sweep. Once you reach the 5th map, if you're the team that's working on the reverse sweep, the momentum's all yours. Prodigy Noobs are a very strong team, but it's very hard to be on the bad end of the reverse sweep and not be at least somewhat boomed at this point. And meanwhile, Valhalla are just all momentum. They've been in
I
a
agree.
state of do or die for the last two maps straight, and they're finally they see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're excited. They're ready to get out of this tunnel.
I agree. I agree. What kind of a swap activity are you spotting?
No swap activity yet.
Interesting. What in the Sam Hill is going on?
Shall ask for our swaps.
Give us dim schwappity wappities.
Oasis is actually quite an interesting map to end on, like as a tiebreaker, because all of its maps play differently.
Hmm. I mean, to some degree, yes.
University
I
and
agree.
Gardens might be the two most similar of them, and
I
even
feel
then,
like, yeah.
there's some variety there.
Yeah, that was gonna be my argument. Was that
Busan might be the control map that plays the most differently per map.
Busan? You say?
Yeah,
I would argue Lijiang Tower.
really?
So Garden is very commonly a divey map.
Yeah, I just always view Control Center and Night Market as very similar maps that demand relatively similar playstyles.
So I think of them a little bit differently. I think of Gardens as a divey map, a brawly, like a brawl focused map in Control Center, and then Night Market brings out a lot of the special variety. Like it's got a lot of spice to it. Like you see the special Doomfist pick. You see the Sim strats. You see Pharah come out occasionally to play the coastline. You see Double Shield play there even still. Like there's a lot of variety that you see on Lijiang Tower. Let's see, Busan. I would say Busan is kind of a similar story where Mecha Base is usually Mecha Base is often brawl dominated. Sanctuary has a lot of special sauce that kind of goes into it often.
Yeah.
And then yes, Kitty, sorry. I am a little bit tired. I got up early today. So I sort of forgot
boomer.
it.
Bedtime
I forgot
early.
it.
We're like hours past your bedtime at this point. We gotta be.
Not hours. In fact, we're 20 minutes past when I like to be crawling into bed. But for me, it's not necessarily about like going to sleep. It's the climbing into the bed and the decompression of like, and reflecting on the day.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite a meditative look back, but a moment of zen.
Yes.
Since we have not heard from Prodigy Noobs. Oh, Mexi's typing. I was going to say.
Speak of it,
I have
and it shall change.
I have that ability. Two-minute warning. Oh yeah, it is 7 minutes usually, right? You're right.
Yes, it will be 10 minutes when the playoffs start. just because
Hello,
of the
PT2.
uncertain nature of how maps will be, to give teams time to build their rosters and submit them, etc., etc. Pick whether or not they want to attack or defend. But we do
Okay,
have the
so
lineup now. It will be
So we're
Mexi,
seeing-
Zooms, Ares, Eli, and Cloud and Stell.
So we just swapped Stell for Shiny, and we good to go.
Mm-hmm.
And you're very welcome, Kirby. I enjoy doing this. I just forgot that I had to get up very early, relatively speaking, today, and I had a bunch of coding I had to do to get ready for the Outlaws event, because I do a lot of their bot work for their Discord server and Twitch channels and stuff, and I had been putting it off a little bit longer than planned. I was going to do it last night, and I never really got around to it. Even though I argued I would stay up late, and then I stayed up late and still didn't do it, and then I had to get up early to do it, and now I'm paying for it by being a little snoozy.
Well, we will be ending our series on this map, regardless of who wins it. So,
And if it remains, I expect this to be a banger.
mm-hmm.
Okay,
University
okay.
right off the bat, which is a pretty brawl rush oriented map.
Yep.
I expect to
I
see
do
pretty much mirrors on both sides of, well, at least of compositions, with slight variances,
Stylistic.
the Junkrat instead of the Mei.
I like. I think you play the Mei here. I also think that Moira is not correct right now. I think you play the Baptiste all the time over the Moira, with the only exception being maybe if the enemy team are playing Doomfist and you need
Nice
a
wall from
guaranteed.
Ares to split this team in half here. However, Beant does the smart frog thing, climbs over the wall, but unfortunately BX Hunter gonna fall. Mexi counterpinning here, both Reinhardt straight out here. These teams doing a really good job slugging damage at each other, back and forth, but Eli now hitting the shots, finding 3. Brow Daddy, the only member left, and Zoomsbury's gonna beam them down, and Prodigy Noobs will take point A.
Eli going huge in that fight, finding 4-ish, I don't know.
Probably, I would assume they did a lot of work on Brow Daddy as well.
Power of destruction.
And we're now in a position where the Junkrat actually makes so much more sense because you're in this defensive take. Or the Junkrat makes more sense where you're not in the defensive position
Right.
to use it.
Stell uses Coalescence very aggressively, and Mexi is all for it, charging into the team. And the freeze from Ares there, allowing the pincer attack to really take hold. Prodigy Noobs looking very clean with this rush comp so far.
I was gonna say this is a little bit different of a Prodigy Noob than we saw the last map, and I'm assuming it's some comfort with what they're doing.
Yeah,
But
Valhalla gonna
gosh
try and
darn
run it
it,
up
this
left
doesn't-
this time and just run straight into him, but Ares is gonna throw this blizzard. It'll deter the aggression. It's actually gonna freeze 5 people. Shatter comes out, but might have actually gotten a little blocked up there by Ares' wall. Unsure. Really huge grab coming out from Zoomsbury, and Kaiju Eli following up on it. The massive Deadeye putting themselves now in one fight territory, but now all they have left is support ultimates.
That's
Meanwhile, on the
not a
side of
bad thing
Valhalla,
to
we have
have.
DPS.
Not a bad thing to have though if you're a brawl comp. You're gonna have all the sustain in the world to face check the crap out. But this tire coming in,
Comes out, the tire gets shut down, high noon on the high ground for Power, but gets flashed out by Eli!
Eli is taking control of this game in a way that I have not seen in Tier 3 in a while. This man pulled up his big boy britches and said, no, I've been playing for 2 hours now. I ain't doing nothing but winning.
And Valhalla a bit answerless for the rush comp this time from Prodigy Noobs. We'll have to see if this composition can continue to hold up for them on maps that are lesser suited to it. University being very heavily favored by that comp.
I agree. Although at the flip side, if Eli keeps playing like that,
I will say Gardens was the one map I was thinking where you might be able to force the composition if you're going to keep playing it. Looks like they're going to opt to. They're going to swap Ares over onto the Symmetra. Personally, I think if you're going to run the composition again, you keep the Mei. I think she just slots into the composition a little bit better. But though we will see this time, oh, well, the PowerPoint swap back. I was like, they're on fire this time.
We are seeing Ares stick with the sim. I expected there to... Oh, they're doing their low ground retake strat with the telly, which I do like. I thought it was pretty clever. Although I'm afraid that's one of those things that's going to get red. It takes exactly one piece of game tape and you understand that it's happening.
So far, Prodigy is facing this quite well. Valhalla having a tough time kind of forcing them back, but they will get the pick finally on the Mexi. They've been slowly burning that health bar down. Proud Daddy getting their mecha back too is going to be critical for Prodigy Noobs. Slowly pushing them off point here. The wall already coming out from Ares. Going to be a little bit trickier for them to rotate around now. Valhalla doing a really good job though, making sure they're all on the same side of the wall. These freezes from NYC are lethal. They keep shutting down the aggression of Prodigy Noobs. However, now ults coming out on both sides. Both Colossuses and a bomb. Nexi, that was Zoom's bomb. I thought Nexi was going to die to that bomb, but no. And what I believed at first to be a Valhalla 1 fight swung back Prodigy Noobs' way, solely because I just don't think they were able to execute on the freezes NYC was providing.
It's a pretty expensive fight win, but we also see a pretty low gain of ult charge on the side of Valhalla on their supports in particular. So it's not that lopsided. It's not great, but it's workable.
Here we see Valhalla up through this high ground rotation with the Lucio. Almost boops PowerPoint off the map entirely. Shatter gets canceled out and answered back with a better one. Mexi gets pinned straight into the wall, and the Blizzard's going to come out and find Cloud Lemon as well. Now Valhalla have the picks. Now they just need to aggress onto the point, and that's what they're planning to do. Proud Daddy and I believe that is PowerPoint. Yeah, just push all the way to spawn, basically.
And this was basically my concern with how they won that fight. But now the flip is also somewhat true. The ult economy has swung pretty reasonably back towards Prodigy Noobs. So this might just be a back and forth.
The wall? Zoomsbury gets taken for a ride all the way into the other team's like spawn area. A nice freeze from NYC again. The bomb's gonna come out from Brow Daddy. What will it find? It finds 3 all by itself. And that'll be Valhalla wrapping up that team fight. 30% on the board for themselves now.
Yes, okay, good. We're seeing Ares swap Mei. I think that's going to give them a much better chance of taking this fight. I really think that Sim opener just is not worth it. Especially against the opposite Mei where you need to counter roll. But we see it coming in.
Prodigy Noobs are going to rotate a really good wall from NYC, who's been doing really good on this Mei, this map. Kaiju Eli going to use the Deadeye, uses it to weaken up Mexi's shield a bit, but PowerPoint just going crazy with this high ground, putting in so much damage. Valhalla find themselves a team kill and put themselves in one fight territory here with the ults they need to win, really.
I'd say the ult economy is a little bit in favor overall of Prodigy Noobs, I would say. But you're looking at both Blizzard and High Noon, which have both been very high impact ults in this matchup thus far. So
they're going to rotate the high ground and take PowerPoint off of it immediately. That's definitely something they needed to do. Mexi throws the Shatter out, only finds PowerPoint. Eli going to try and find the follow-up kill, not quite able to find it yet. Takeover is going to pop this Blizzard in the High Noon at the same time. Half of Prodigy Noobs are gone. Zoomsbury able to build the bomb. The wall blocks a lot of it, but Zoomsbury still able to find power point. Will that be enough to turn this fight for them? Ares on May, able to stall for quite a while if they play this right. Using the wall stall tactics and the cryo freeze, Cloud Lemon's able to get back out of their abilities now, though. Gonna toss the Blizzard out as they die, though, and that'll find a lot of members of Valhalla. However, the bomb coming out here, gonna prevent any follow-up from the Blizzard. Now the Shatter able to stop Mexi in their tracks. Stell popping the Coalescence here. Gonna try and keep Prodigy Noobs topped off here, but the picks just keep swinging in favor of Valhalla. It's hard to see how they're gonna lose this fight this far into it. Now Eli able to get the pick on the power point, but I don't know if that's gonna be enough to swing it here. Eli just staying alive on Tracer, gets a nice pulse bomb, but a really good reaction time from Takeover allows him to hit the cryo freeze and not die to it. Ares is now back on the May. This is just a lot more stall that'll come out now. Able to stand on top of this wall. Eli slowly picking away at Valhalla here. Ares gets frozen up by Takeover, but Takeover had to reload, not able to put the icicle on Ares' head yet. And Brow Daddy gets frozen now. Prodigy Noobs, if Valhalla don't start killing them fast, might start turning this fight. Mexi falling though. PowerPoint doing a good job CCing them a bunch. And PowerPoint just going crazy here, taking out the stall picks now. All the stall is pretty much out of their composition now. All that's left on point is Diva. Mexi all the way back at spawn on this Wrecking Ball. Can they make it back in time? The overtime wick is going to fall out really fast. An amazing solve from Prodigy Noobs, but very solid performance from Valhalla to wrap up map 2. We are going the distance, Crypto.
Oh, shoot. I mean, we're coming all the way down to the wire. All the way down. Heck, this is quite the series.
Yeah.
Ares is sticking on the May. I like that. I think that gives them a much better chance in this matchup. Both teams have dropped the BAP. Why? But otherwise, this is sort of the...
Valhalla did that last map, actually.
Yeah, that's why I said I think I mentioned only one other one was playing BAP. But... So the positioning is set up.
Wall comes out, but doesn't actually split anybody off here. However, opposite story on Valhalla, they did a really nice wall here. So Ares able to freeze Rav and Brow Daddy. No follow-up able to come of it though. Ravioli Stain falling dangerously low. A nice fire strike goes through the majority of Prodigy Noobs. However, no kills. Eli getting the first pick. Both Reinhardts have been traded out now. Seems very able to get a pick on PowerPoint here. Not quite enough.
Just ceding the high ground to PowerPoint gives so much power in controlling this point. But that's the choice they made, and now they have a problem on their hands. Their ult economy is pretty even.
That's a really good wall. It shuts off Stelbell's Coalescence and also let the bomb in just at the last second there. Ares gonna throw the Blizzard in, gonna negate Hunter's sound barrier there. It's kind of a chaotic fight.
It's chaotic and not as fast as you like if you're the losing team there. Stell also expending the coal there is very unfortunate.
I liked the idea of the usage there, but unfortunately, if you're Prodigy Noobs, NYC had a great wall that just took Stelbell completely out of the fight.
It's another reason why Baptiste is good. Goes over walls. I
Ravioli Stain gonna get frozen here. And now the Blizzard from the side of Valhalla is gonna come out and a counter shatter, but PowerPoint with a massive Deadeye!
Oh my goodness. Prodigy Noobs are folding. I'm sorry to say it, but... Oof.
If Prodigy Noobs aren't able to secure this map, that will make Valhalla the 4th individual team to have pulled off a reverse sweep this season. If I remember looking at the Kirby statistics, the leaderboards correctly.
Oh, and a huge shatter!
High Noon coming out from
Cloud
Eli, not
already
able to
dead?
find anything. But B-Ant gets 2 now, 3 with the Coalescence and Brown Daddy's bomb finding Stelbell. All that's really left alive here is Ares and Zoomsbury on point. Zoomsbury's gonna get taken down. It looks like that'll be it. Valhalla will secure themselves the reverse sweep and the series against Prodigy Noobs.
Wow. Wowee. That was... I mean, we know what this is gonna be. The big reverse sweep. I'm gonna say, in terms of play of the game, this actually really isn't anything to be... It's certainly not anything to be teabagging the ground and spraying over. You auto-aimed people who were frozen solid, but okay. You got your dub. Heck,
That was
I
a
don't
great
even...
series.
That was a great series. That was an excellent series. Whew, 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 whew. Sheesh, indeed, Brad Daddy. Sheesh.
Ooh, so now we gotta get the nominations, but like, I don't even know where to begin with this MVP conversation.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about.
Oh. Oh, tip-toe-ba-da.
I appreciate Aries' candor and accepting that that was a fantastic game. What a game, what a game. That's a hard one. That's a hard one to lose, but
Prodigy Noobs always been good sports. Very admirable team.
they are. That's why they're our scrum partners. One of our faves.
Mm-hmm.
Another reason why BAP is good. Immortality would have actually been useful there. True
Yes.
facts, Kirby. True facts, Kirby.
I'm actually surprised both teams dropped the BAP, given they've both been pretty consistently running the Baptiste as of lately, like as stylistically, like their looks in scrims and in matches. And there in map 5, they just decided not to.
I do like Kitty's suggestion in that DPS MVP goes to McCree. not PowerPoint or Eli, just the
McCree.
character McCree. They nom Eli and Mexi. There's no shockers there, I don't think. Certainly, I don't find that surprising. And we need L nominations from...
We have gotten nominations from Ravioli Stain. I looked at the wrong
Yeah,
name.
we just need them from Prodigy Noobs now.
For those watching, Valhalla have nominated Eli and Mexi as their MVPs.
Which are pretty reasonable takes.
Yes, I agree.
Tank Ryan, DPS McCree, support BAP.
That just sounds like meta.
I'm gonna flip around. I'm gonna say, and this is gonna give you a hint of where I'm going with my proposal for the tank MVP. I think Diva MVP. I don't.
I think we may go in the same place with it then.
Okay, cool. Brow Daddy and PowerPoint. Hey, look, so they're going Brow Daddy as well. Man had just bomb after bomb after bomb. He ate some ultimates. He played just so well.
I'll cave because I ran the last 2 MVP sessions we had, but I was thinking Zoomsbury.
Okay. Zoomsbury had an excellent series as well. Yeah, no, I get it's similar story. Several big bombs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really want to shout out, maybe not MVP, but I want to give
big ups to Rav for pulling out the pocket main tank. And, like, I don't think there's any MTD on either team here. Hunter versus Mexi or Rav versus Mexi, either one. But if you avoid getting MTD'd by Mexi in Tier 3, you're a good tank. You're playing well.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of like the reverse benchmark. He's like, if you hold your own against Mexi, you're fine. So definitely, I want to give the honorable mention shout out to Rav there for that. But you're thinking zooms, and I'm thinking brow. Okay, we can mull that one over a little bit more. What's your DPS thoughts? Because I suspect there's probably one from each team that deserves some discussions.
Ares did so well. NYC Takeover did so much. PowerPoint was just an unstoppable monster on the hit scan, making me pick the killer. Gable did a lot of work as well. Like every DPS who played.
Apparently Rav was doing this while like in a fever state. Maybe that's how we ended up with Rav tank. Maybe. Tank was.
But I mean,
Eli says, "I'm gonna get sick. Maybe we'll win a game." Pepe hands, Genji hands specifically.
But yeah, the flexibility of Ares tonight between the Symmetra, the Sombra, and the Mei, just a really good utility. Lots of good freezes, lots of good walls, plenty of fat EMPs, good singular hacks. They were a pretty cornerstone piece of the success Prodigy Noobs did have tonight. PowerPoint, obviously, just like in the kill feed a lot, dinking heads a lot. Just the raw mechanical skill of PowerPoint's hit scan tonight was really showing.
I agree.
Eli, for similar reasons, as demonstrated on the last map, the McCree play, really good flashbangs, as we saw, like, able to take PowerPoint out of Deadeye. Plenty of kills. But then there's, like, NYC Takeover, who was consistently churning out damage and kills on Junkrat in the maps prior to, and then swapped to Mei and took Ares on pretty equally on map 5.
That's true.
Had some really good walls and did a great job freezing people up all throughout like the stall phase, and obviously had the big blizzard that set up the quintuple kill of PowerPoint with Deadeye.
Yep, true. So, true facts.
It's really hard to say because every single DPS player that played tonight, like, had at least 3 plays that would net any other player an MVP in their match.
No, this is one of those. You go back to that. It was Dallas Fuel versus Houston Outlaws on the Decay Rialto, where Decay just like went Super Saiyan like 3. But what was hidden under that is that Linkser also, like, in the same map, went Super Saiyan 2, and it was just the fact, like, if it was anybody that wasn't Decay on that day, he would have just wiped the floor with him statistically. Like, he just... The pop-off was so much in this game that it's like... There were many MVP-level candidates for DPS, in particular.
Anybody who struck you out? Or you want to let that one gel a little longer and then go to support?
Let's loop back around to that. Nothing I feel. 93% ball win rate. Rav has changed her name to. I see now. Amazing, amazing. Rav, I love you. I'm making the heart sign with my hand right now.
So, I appreciated the flexibility in Hunter coming off the tank line and playing Baptiste a lot for Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Hunter did a really good job flexing over. but I'm as far as well, they also played Ana on Gibraltar and hit a lot
Their
of
Ana
nades.
on
I remember
Gibraltar was
making a
good.
note there. But I was really impressed with Stelbel tonight as well.
Stelbel turned up the heat for sure. Especially again, that it's recency bias is a real thing when doing MVPs, and everybody knows it. But like the way that they just dominated Oasis University, at every position in every way possible. Like Stelbel was a big part of that, and it was like it was so.
That wasn't
clean.
the
And
only
they
place
looked good.
Stelbel did that either. Stelbel actually did
No,
that like pretty consistently while they were in.
No, I agree. It wasn't just that. That's just the recency bias. Like
Yeah.
it just happened. We just watched.
Yeah, it's easy to point out because it just happened.
It's a very specific example that's fresh. I'll always shout out my boy Cloud Lemon.
Yep.
Who consistently just puts out, very consistent performances.
Yeah.
And is always, a top support usually in the lobby. Kipper as well earlier, I thought looked quite good. That was a pretty solid showing from them.
Yeah.
Particularly as a name that I wasn't like super familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Who are you thinking for support?
I'm liking either Stelbel or BX Hunter. I think I'm on the same train there. I think it's telling that we go down the list and I think we each have like picks from both teams that are like top contenders.
Yeah.
Why is this got to be so hard? Why can't one of you guys suck? Why can't you just get rolled teams? It'd be so much easier for us. Kitty is suggesting Brow PowerPoint BX Hunter would be certainly reasonable.
I was thinking I'm kind of leaning Hunter because I think Hunter did a really good job enabling like Ravioli in their front line, because there were quite a few times where Valhalla's front line decided we're gonna make a play, we're gonna make that play now, and it's up to you guys to make sure the play happens, and they made sure it happened pretty much every time.
I'm with that program. I like that. I'm with you. I'll back that one up 100%.
Mm-hmm. So if we're both on Hunter for that, then we gotta loop back to one of the other ones, which is much harder.
I'm gonna say even harder. Man, if Prodigy Noobs had clutched out Oasis there, and the performance that Eli put on University had converted out and taken another map, or even like just he hadn't gotten he didn't get lapped by PowerPoint, but PowerPoint caught up and it made it significantly more even. I would be on the hands down Eli train, but I'm thinking PowerPoint. The Widow play in particular, I'm just thinking back to Anubis, and I'm like, ugh. Yeah, anytime you see Widow kills person, Res Widow kills person again, like they're on.
Right.
Widow kills same person twice with Res in the middle. Yeah, I agree, Kitty. PowerPoint just had that little bit extra that really,
there were quite a few times where, like, PowerPoint did something, then Noobs answered back, and I'm like, oh, that's probably what Noobs need to stabilize. And PowerPoint's like, hold on, one more dink, and just immediately put a sock in my mouth as Valhalla proceeded to win their team fight because of that second dink. So
I agree.
I can get behind a PowerPoint MVP.
Okay.
Not to take away
And now-
from anybody else on DPS like Takeover, Ares, EY.
No, Ares is. If anything, Ares is an MVP quality candidate. It's just one of those, and it's weird that we're acknowledging this bias while also doing the MVPs ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Being the setup man, like with the walls and the teleporters and the hacks and stuff, it's your plays are so very impactful, and Ares does them so well.
Right.
But in a lot of ways, it is set up for other people to then complete the job, which leads to it's not MVP stuff. It's not like non MVP stuff. It is. It's just like it's so different. It goes back to the main supports, should get MVPs and do get MVPs, but do they get as many MVPs as they should? Who knows? Like, sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, utility DPS is hard like that.
Right.
Okay. So if we're thinking PowerPoint, that leaves us with, are we going to call it Zoomsbury versus Brow Daddy?
Probably.
Man,
Rav is
I
also. I at least want to give Rav an honorable mention.
No, I'm 100%.
No matter who the MVP goes to.
Yes, no, I'm 100% on board for Rav honorable mention because it was just very. It was a pocket pick that, again, when I was surprised at Rav main tank and Hunter coming out, that wasn't a slight on Rav, on my assumption of Rav's tank,
Right.
abilities. That was you have one of the top 3 main tank in tier 3 BX Hunter.
Mm-hmm. I could
With Mexi also probably being a top 3 main tank in tier
Yeah,
3.
yeah, I can get behind both of those statements.
And then Rav comes in, benches the boy Hunter, and then takes on Mexi heads up. That's... Even if it wasn't like an MVP tank performance, it was you playing with the big boys and, handling them just fine. So that's definitely an honorable mentioning. So Zoomsbury versus Brow Daddy. This is that moment where I wish we had Overwatch League stats.
Yeah, right?
Because eye test wise, both of them just pounded.
I didn't always get I can't see everything. I'm one person. I don't have all the camera angles an Overwatch League caster has and all that. So
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm with you.
The reason I initially leaned Zoomsbury was because where I had my camera angled most of the time, I was able to see Zoomsbury doing all the micro work a diva should be doing and how much that helped Prodigy Noobs out, even when they were not winning. There were a lot of fights that they won just solely off the back of Zoomsbury denied the MVP PowerPoint from getting any value in that fight at all. And then after denying PowerPoint's existence, would also follow up with either peel or DPS follow up off in some crazy area of the map. So I was able to see all of Zoomsbury's plays, but I didn't get to see as much of that from Brow Daddy. I don't know if that's Brow Daddy was more of the I will support my main tank diva, or if it was solely just that I didn't have the work that I saw Zoomsbury doing.
So my things that I saw out of Brow were he was making big bomb kills, and he was doing it without a setup man as good as Ares, frankly. Like we saw big EMP bombs and we saw wall bombs and we saw like all sorts of really good stuff there. And it was just like he was getting a lot done without the additional support. He ate at least one of Zoom's grabs, and I think he ate a couple, maybe a pulse bomb from Eli, and he was eating impactful ultimates, really keeping them in the fight there. Actually, as well, I felt like his hog and his ball swap on Anubis, while a little unconventional, were they converted pretty well. I don't know. I think this one's really tough. Wasn't Brow the... Oh, that's true. Brow was the baby diva that punched Eli in the face. I hate to let the final decider be a meme moment, but...
I'm still personally leaning Zooms.
If you're on the Zooms train that hard, and I'm so conflicted, then we'll give it to Zoomsbury. I'm okay with that.
Okay, so we're looking at Zoomsbury, PowerPoint, and BX Hunter?
Yep, that's what it sounds like.
Alright, so... Oh, with an honorable mention to Rav.
With an absolutely honorable mention to
Yeah.
Rav.
Okay. Well, that was a hell of a series. I don't really know how else to put that series. That was crazy. Definitely
cray.
I don't think you could have asked for a much better series coming out of the 3rd and 4th seed going into this match. Both still fighting for their seed. So both these teams definitely had every intention of like, I want to beat you and go into the playoffs better than you, and they definitely played like it tonight. So, as could be seen by us mentioning pretty much everybody's name in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. This was an excellent series.
So that'll be it. Valhalla take the series 3-2 for those who just tuned in and have been waiting on the score. I've been your caster, Ravity, joined by the commentator, Cryptographer. Thank you for joining me on this game.
No, thank you guys, and thank you, sir. Your observing was on point as always. Your casting is you're one of the finest motor mouths we have. I'm sorry, Brow Daddy. I was really there, but sometimes you got to make them compromises, and he made a very compelling argument.
Well, thank you all for watching, and have a good night. See you guys next game.
Good night.